We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it is episode 658 of the New York Knicks podcast. I am Jay. Mark, how you doing?
I am doing okay, I guess.
Did you think 15 years ago I would be, if I told you in 2024, I'd be saying, hey Mark, it's episode 658 of the Knicks podcast.
I would have been thrilled if I'd known this future. I would have been just thrilled. After last show getting crushed by Boston, we had a kind of a negative show. Try to look in the optimism. Then the Knicks beat the ever-living crap out of the Pacers, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have a very positive, good show. And the Knicks were up on the Cavs somewhere maybe in the early third quarter, up by like 13 points. And I was like, this is going great. Anyway, we're gonna have a really negative show today. How you doing, Jack?
All right, so I just posted the Knicks roster power rankings again. So
Cool.
That's on our website, the NewYorkKnicksPodcast.com. And I'm telling you that because I tried to post the link on Facebook, and for some reason, Facebook now thinks that the NewYorkKnicksPodcast.com is spam. So
Our website, where we've been posting all our Knicks content, we've been posting on Facebook for going on like 15 years.
Yeah.
With no issue. Now Facebook thinks our site is spam. And there's no way to, unless anyone knows Mark Zuckerberg, there's really nothing we can do about this.
So this started about a month ago. So if you haven't seen, I'm posting like the link on Twitter and then posting the Twitter link to Facebook, and Facebook also has a thing where it won't show you a preview of the tweet. So it'll just say x.com. It's just like, why is Jay posting x.com on the Knicks page?
Can you post a link from the hosting site?
Well, I could do that for the podcast episodes, which is what I'm doing.
Oh,
But for like the power rankings, I'm just writing on the website, so there's no way to do it. So anyway, I am doing it this season. So if you just see a post that says x.com, that's actually a link to our website. So
I hate all social media.
Yeah.
Jay, I'm gonna start the show off with a bit of a interesting Knicks related trivia that I don't think you know this.
Okay.
So my daughter's really into Taylor Swift, like every daughter in America is required to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the Taylor Swift song "Antihero"?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so there's a line that says, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Everybody agrees." Do you know that song was co-written by Karl Anthony Towns?
We're going there already, huh?
Going there already. Oh my God. So we're doing topics for the show. Anyway, Jay also had made, I'm not going to steal Jay's joke. He said he heard they're remaking the movie The Invisible Man starring Karl Anthony Towns. Is this episode going to be negative about Karl Anthony Towns? Tune in and find out. Jay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Will it be awkward for Knicks fans when Julius Randle makes the All-Star team and Karl Anthony Towns does not?
It is going to be such a complete shit show on social media. It's going to be like the worst thing ever.
Okay, so it's only been a few games and everything will reverse itself. And like Jay and I were talking the other day how like maybe it was early last year, the Jazz looked like they had a good team and then they sucked. A lot of things happen early on. You never know how they're going to work out. And also Randall's a good player anyway. But have you looked at Randall's stats just through 3 games coming off this injury?
Looked at him. I drafted him on my fantasy team.
62% from the field.
Oh, I know.
53% from 3.
He's not even
turning a game.
He's not even turning the ball over.
He's not even turning the ball over. He is turning the ball over like 3 times a game. But
well, I have Cade Cunningham who's turning the ball over 8 times a game, so 3 seems like nothing.
If having the most turnovers were a thing, Like a positive, Kate Cunningham would be the Michael Jordan of basketball.
He had
Um,
9 and then 7 and then 5.
how is Kate Cunningham's turning the ball over so much in year? Is he year in 3 or year 4?
It's
He was
wild
drafted the
how much
same
he's
year as McBride, so he's in year 4.
Yeah.
He still sucks. I mean, he's good, but sucks.
I mean, he's putting up really nice scoring numbers, but I can't believe how much he's turning the ball over.
It is. If you want to know why Detroit is bad, I mean, there's 8 million reasons, but it's not helpful that your number one draft pick can't stop giving the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
But anyway, um, anyway, Randall is playing awesome through 3 games. I'm rooting for him to be good. Dante DiVincenzo has not been playing quite as good. But Jay, would you reverse the trade right now?
That is a tough question.
Okay, so Jay just said yes with his. You know, you just said yes, right?
I probably would. I mean, there's still there would be a really big hole at center right now with Robinson out.
Let's
But
yes.
without
Let's hold off. We'll go back to this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you'd have the issue at center. It would be. In theory, this trade, I guess, makes sense unless you've seen Towns play on Minnesota before.
If he played like
There was
he
no
played
9-year evidence of.
no, that's the thing. If he played like he did in Minnesota, I think we'd be happy. He's shooting.
Yes, that's true too.
I mean, it was the Pacers game. He shot 11 shots, and in the Cavs game, he took 8 shots. What is that? It's crazy.
He shot like 15 shots a game last year, so everything's a lot below his. I mean, in theory, he's trying to figure this out. Okay, so I'll finish my topics and we can get into this. I might have a couple more on him. After my next topic, after this trade, the paint will be so open with all this three-pointing, said someone who believes in fairy tales and unicorns. I'm not sure I follow the plan. Step 1, have 5 guys on the court who can shoot threes. Step 2, stop shooting threes. Are Brunson and Towns waiting to be formally introduced to one another to play a 2-man game? Can someone tell Towns that drop coverage doesn't mean back away from the guy coming to the basket? Has he ever challenged a shot in his entire life? I know this team needs more time to gel. I know this team needs more time to gel is what I keep saying over and over again in my head every time my brain asks if Towns' trade was a mistake. I know my team needs more time to gel. I know my team needs more time to gel is what my brain keeps saying to myself every time I ask is Randall actually just better than Towns?
So here's a little take you off the ledge material. There was a team that started off 9-8, and then they won 21 out of 22 games and made the finals.
The Heatles?
Yes, the very first Heatles team. They were 9-8 after 17 games, and I'm sure there were overreactionary fans like us saying, "Oh my God, this isn't working out." And
if you find our episode from then, it was more like, "Ha, this is not working out." But
we did that. Yeah, we did that.
Yes.
But yeah, then they went on to make 4 straight finals. So
okay, I have a couple more non-cat related topics. Okay, so Hales and Mikal Bridges' shot being broken were greatly exaggerated.
yeah,
Deuce's, I don't know if you noticed in the Pacer game, Deuce gave advice to Huck Porty. He's told them that these minutes really matter, and this is how I earn my rotation minutes. He also said, which I don't think has been reported yet, I have an exclusive on this, is that when they offer you an extension, don't take the first offer. And my last bit of advice, last big thing was I finally figured out the way to make Tibbs play the young guys, which I don't think anyone else has figured this out before. It is forcing him to watch Sims play basketball.
I mean,
So-
yeah.
I have an interesting stat for you.
Okay.
Do you remember the 54-win Knicks?
Yes.
Okay. What was their big innovation? I mean, they had, I guess, a couple different things. But like, what was maybe the big innovation they had at the time?
They had 6 guys that were 38 years old or older. That's never been done
That was an
before.
innovation.
Never done before, never done again. They also took a lot more threes than everybody else.
Yes.
Except
So
maybe
they
the
were
Warriors.
tied. They were tied actually that year for the most threes in the NBA, and they had. I think they might have had the highest shooting percentage, or up there. But they were. It was an innovation at that time, and the Knicks won 54 games with this. You guess how many threes they took per game during that season to lead, to be tied with? I think I forget who. I think maybe tied with Houston. I forget who, but tied for the lead. How many?
The
threes
league
they-
has changed so much. I'm gonna say that like that number is probably like last now, but I'm gonna say like 28 a game.
28.9. And you're also right. That number is last. Currently, how many? The Knicks are shooting 28.3 per game, and they are dead last. And guess how many the Boston Celtics, who lead the league, how many threes they're shooting per game?
40,
50.
50.
50.
That's a
50
record.
goddamn threes a game.
That's never been done before.
That has never done yet. So it's previously teams have shot like 40 per game. And I assume they're not going to shoot 50 per game for the season.
Right.
But guess their shooting percentage on 50 a game.
This is gonna piss me off. 39%.
42.8%. They've broken the league.
That's insane. I mean, only 3 games, but still 4 games.
I mean, really, like in 2013, 28 threes a game was like that was the top. And now it's fucking 50 a game.
It really is
bigger
just a
picture-
3-point shooting contest now. It's kind of annoying.
Bigger picture, the NBA might need to fix this, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to get too much into this, but the NBA kind of needs to do something about this.
Personally, I find it a little boring just having a 3-point shooting contest.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying. I mean, like, it's cool when someone makes a three, but like, it's gotten too easy.
Yeah, I don't know how they fix it. Other than like they go back to like late 90s, early 2000s rules.
I thought about one fix. Since the Knicks seem determined to not shoot threes, make it so no team's allowed to shoot more than the Knicks are.
Make it like
You shot 28 tonight. You hit your limit. Sorry, Celtics.
Make it like baseball. You know how like in Fenway, like it's really hard to hit a 3-pointer because a home run because it's like much further back. Just have
Yeah.
the home court chooses how far away their 3-point line is.
Wouldn't it be cool? So the baseball, I think I said this in the show before. Baseball, the dimensions of every field. I mean, the distance between the bases is the same, but the dimensions of the field are different.
I think that's stupid, by the way. I was using that as a joke. Like I think that's
Okay, I think it'd be
it's-
kind of cool. Don't chase the basketball hype, but how cool would it be in like different arenas? You're like, oh, this is the 40-foot three. I guess we're not going to hit a lot of threes when we're in New York. 'Cause
I don't know what to do about it, but
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know either.
Going to the games. Let's talk about the
Okay.
Pacers for a little bit, just because it was a fun game.
I want to explore some stats also, but go on.
Okay. I just well, obviously it's always fun beating the Pacers, especially.
Wait, can we
since-
just before?
Yeah.
Actually, can I give one stat from that game I thought was fun?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Pacers game.
Yeah, the Pacers game.
Okay.
There was one fun stat.
Okay.
Did you know that Tyrese Halliburton had as many points in that game as you did?
That is true. That's
That's a fun stat.
He had 8 more attempts.
He had 8 more attempts. You should have shot more while you were watching in your living room. But you made as many as Halliburton did.
Yeah, it was fun seeing him do that. It was fun seeing them just get blown out. They're a good team. They're a deep team. I was a little worried when they just kept throwing guys out there. I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy's on the team too. Shit.
Yeah.
But the Knicks look like they gelled.
Mathurin played big minutes, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah. But I was like, Bridges, his shot was off for 1 game and the preseason. It's back. The defense.
Yeah, he's shooting great, by the way. The whole season. Like, it's only 3 games. I mean, his shot's been playing really well.
Yeah, the defense looked good. The Towns only took 11 shots, but he had 21 points, which is awesome. 15 rebounds.
And free throws. Got to the line.
I can't say enough about how much better McBride has gotten since his rookie season.
Holy crap.
It's
Yes.
ridiculous. He's like, the starting lineup for the Knicks is really good, but he's like top 6 on the Knicks. You could even make a case like maybe top 5. Like this was a guy where we're like, he's never going to play ever. and he's like a solid like 6th man of the year candidate. Might move into a starting role.
Right. I feel like they're like, I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but maybe there should be like a wing in the Hall of Fame for like most improved players. Like Deuce is on his way to most improved Hall of Fame.
It's crazy. He was shooting 28% for his first 2 seasons. Last season he shot like 40, and
Yeah.
this season I'm like surprised when he misses.
Right. He's been really good.
And his
I mean,
defense is still awesome.
defense is awesome. He's been really good. I mean, it's also, I mean, like Tibbs really gave him playing time and kept giving him opportunities when he didn't look that great. He looked good on defense always, but not that good on offense. And like,
Wait, I
in some
thought
ways
Tibbs
didn't look-
doesn't play young guys.
I know it's crazy. But yeah, like it's amazing his development. Like McBride, I mean, I guess I assume he's already murdered his agent, but like he's been awesome.
So the Knicks played Obi, and the most impressive thing he did that game was when the ball got stuck above the backboard, and Obi somehow was able to jump up and get it down. I thought that was really impressive.
That is impressive. You know what I've also noticed is that I no longer see highlights of Obi in my Knicks timeline anymore.
Weird.
People have Knicks creators, everyone has stopped posting every time Obi dunks like, "Oh my God, look what we missed out on." I'm glad there's a realization that like good bench piece. We don't like
Yeah.
if you like he's not it's fine. Good.
The next step towards healing is to stop it with RJ.
Have you seen a lot of RJ stuff though?
He came back like last game, and then immediately I just see like RJ's back, and I'm just like, oh, come on, guys. Like,
Okay. Jay,
yeah,
would you
see,
mind if I post Julius Randle stuff?
I mean, that wound is still fresh. I get it. And
Okay.
and if Towns keeps taking less than 10 shots a game and Randall is playing like gangbusters, it's not gonna stop.
Okay, so the Towns experience. I know you wanted to go into the Pacers
And
game, and
that
this is a
was
wonderful
the
discussion.
that was the positive portion of the show.
Okay, the Towns experience. So the reason this trade is made is, I mean, partly because, it's a big part of it. I mean, two big parts of it. Leon Rose has been chasing after Towns for a long time. He's been his white whale. And also, and he used to rep him, right? He used to be his agent.
Yeah.
Okay. But also the Knicks had a hole at center when Hardenstein left. You can't blame Leon Rose for that because Leon Rose signed him to a smart contract, which turned out to backfire when Hardenstein just played well above the level of his contract.
He did, but then
sometimes-
Presti offered him well above the way he played.
Yeah, so whatever. And the Oklahoma looks pretty good with him injured. So
Like you would think 16 million a year was about where he played. Presti offered him 30. It's really Sam Presti's fault. Honestly, if Sam Presti doesn't do that, the entire Knicks team is back. Like none of this happens.
I thought maybe they'd offer him 20 and he might go like 16 and be like, I can get some endorsements in New York. I can
Yeah.
see the difference. Like
Yeah.
you could argue there at least like take a few million less.
I
because
honestly believe that he would have stayed if he got offered 20. 30 was just like it was a Godfather offer. He couldn't refuse. And I don't blame him. It's just it forever changed the course of the team because it would have been last year's team plus Bridges.
would have been awesome. Yes. And so that happens. You have a major hold center with not a lot of options, not a lot of cap space. And what do you do? And and also Mitchell Robinson being out till January and you're not sure about his health going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking like, am I going to try to play Randall at center? How do you think Randall will be doing at center?
I think it depends on the matchup, but I think a team like Cleveland, it would not be going well. And
No.
So I think we would have been begging for a center by mid-November.
Right. And they could have signed, I mean, Huck Porty looks decent and they could have maybe found some other guys off the scrap
Well,
heap
let's
or,
be
like-
honest. Huck Porty's on a two-way, and nobody thought he would look good at all.
Right. And he hasn't, not like he blew light. He just looked better than Sims.
He had this dunk last night that they called an offensive foul, which I don't think they should have. But that was like a momentum shift right there. But that was awesome, and he's taken Sims minutes already. It's been 3 games.
Yeah.
and that's
well,
it.
that dunk, I mean, Tibbs said, I just wanted to get a look at him. Or what he meant to say is, I just didn't want to look at Sims anymore.
Yeah.
But like the that dunk also like, yes, he really did knock the guy's arm away. He really did foul. But I don't know. It's the guy's first dunk of his career. NBA refs like at least make them put a challenge to get rid of that.
Right. Right. They don't call that sometimes. Like they didn't have to
Sometimes,
call
yeah,
it.
they don't call it.
So,
Yeah.
so
They
mo-
also at the same time they called two offensive fouls on Towns. I thought both of them were ridiculous. The guy is like Towns is driving to the basket. The guy's grabbing his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he kind of like puts his arm to like get the guy off him, but the guy's also holding his arm.
Right.
I thought they were ridiculous. I don't think they would have been overruled. They're calls where I'm like, the refs really shouldn't make that call. Like the guy's being physical with him. He's allowed to be physical back.
Right. Exactly. And he ended up
Yeah, I thought those
fouling
were
out.
kind of ridiculous.
So Towns was kind of getting stomped by Mobley and Allen for a little bit, and Sims put Huck Porty in. He yanked Towns, and so where on your Knicks season bingo did you have Huck Porty getting minutes over Towns? Like,
Oh yeah, he came. Well, in fairness, I think what happened in the fourth quarter is my guess was it wasn't so much Huck Porty getting minutes over Towns. It was Tibbs like Towns must be tired. That's the only thing that explains why he's not playing out there. Let me sit him down for a few minutes to put him back in the game.
I think he did that to make a statement. Like, I am not afraid to put in a rookie if you're going to play defense like this. I think it was only for like 2 or 3 minutes, but I think it was like a kind of like, I'm not fucking around. Like, you got to play
Right.
defense.
And Towns responded like he can do it while yawning. The whole purpose of this move really is that like you're gonna have an advantage. Like you're like we recognize Towns is not a great defender, but you're gonna have an advantage because this dude can shoot threes. It makes the court opens up the paint, and this guy's gonna be really hard to stop on offense.
Yeah, he's been taking 2 threes a game, so it's totally working out.
Do you know? So last year, Dante took 8 threes a game. Randall took 5 threes a game. That's a total of 13 threes a game, right?
Yeah,
They've replaced that with 2 threes a game from Towns.
yeah, yeah.
The Knicks need to shoot 40 threes a game. And I know people will say you want to shoot threes in the flow of the offense and blah, 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 blah. The Knicks are not going to win anything. Last year they shot 35 a game, which I also just don't think was enough.
That was near the
Knicks
bottom of the league.
Yeah, the league has changed. You have to keep up with the league. You don't have to shoot. You have to get in the high 30s at the very least. 38, 30. You have to get this number
Well,
up there
it's
and
not
shoot
even
at a high
that.
percentage.
Like Bridges, OG, Brunson, and McBride all shoot well above league average for 3-point percentage. So you would want them shooting threes. And Towns, you have 5 guys that shoot well above league average. Have them
And
shoot.
Harden even had moments where he shot well. Like when he was
Yeah.
traded for the Knicks for half the season, he shot 50% from 3. You have to shoot more threes. It also like, have you noticed the paint looks doesn't look open at all? It looks harder for Brunson to score now.
Yeah. So here's why I'm not on the ledge. The Knicks are
Because
down.
you're not overreactionary like me.
Right. The Knicks are down 2 of their better big men. The team is going
Yes.
to look completely different when Mitch and Precious are back. We might
Okay,
still get
so-
some Huck Porty minutes, but Mitch comes back. If you have an overpowering center, you have the option now to shift Towns to the 4.
So you're saying I know you've been on this, but the reason we trade for Towns, we're going to completely reverse course in January.
I'm saying situational. I'm saying a really big team like Cleveland, you could do that, or you can just have Mitch as like a super sub for Towns at the 5. Towns
enough.
comes out and now the paint's closed. Now you can't come in here.
So the Knicks don't have anyone. I mean, that's a fair point. The Knicks. So Dante was a high volume 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
The Knicks don't really have like shooting 3 or 4 or 5 a game is not considered high volume anymore. You want a guy to shoot 7 or 8 a game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who needs to be that guy? It needs to be Towns.
But if he does that, you have no inside presence at all.
Right. He can go inside also. He can do a lot. Actually, he should be involved in a lot more plays because he's supposed to be one of our all-stars.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not doing a lot more pick and rolls or pick and pops with Brunson and Towns. Apparently, they did it the most in the preseason out of any team. They had like 40 something, and then they did it like twice so far in 3 games. I don't know why they're
Maybe
not
Tibbs
going.
just saving it for like the second half of the season.
Wouldn't that be like a deadly pick and roll? Like I don't
It's,
see why they're
it
not.
seems like a great pick and roll. It seems like it's like, hey, Towns, why don't you set the pick here, see how it goes?
What I don't want to see is Brunson just driving nonstop. Like, yeah, he's efficient and he does well at it, but like the Knicks have so many shooters. What's the point of Brunson just playing hero ball if you have all these 40% shooters around him?
Well, last night, if Towns is at the 3-point line consistently shooting threes, then Allen or Mobley have to be out there covering him. And if they're out there covering him, then Brunson or McBridges or whatever can get to the goddamn paint and score. It's like if you're gonna basically have Towns not be a decoy at the very least, or just putting up a lot of threes, the paint will not be open, and the purpose of then doing this trade makes no sense.
Right. And when he does that in January, you might have a guy like Precious or maybe a Tuck Porty like in there to grab a rebound if the shot could get missed, if the shot is missed. So I do think it's going to have a different look in January, but right now I agree. Like
This team will also gel. I assume Towns isn't like, I'm done shooting a lot of shots. He just probably is deferring more and just doesn't, he hasn't figured out his place in this team.
now, all this being said, the Knicks scoring has been pretty even. They had 6 guys in double figures against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I think defense is the bigger problem than offense. I mean, we've been focusing on offense most of the time. I mean, they had 4 guys score over 20 points against the Pacers, and they had 5 guys scoring double figures, and then you had McBride and Payne close to it. So
I mean, they had 104 points against Cleveland. It's not like they like lit up the sky.
no, but I mean, last season they were holding teams to under 100.
Right. I mean, part of that is you have gotten rid of your defensive center, or the other one, and the other ones are injured. So now you need to score more points. In theory, the hope was that guy having Bridges and OG out there and McBride and Hart, they would make up for the lack of. I just see there are a number of plays where Towns is going to be the center out there a lot of the time, and there are a number of plays where you see a guy going to the basket, and Towns just backs away and makes no effort to block a guy. Like, he also needs to kind of challenge guys at the rim if he's going to play center. Like, you don't have to be great at it, but you have to like try.
Yeah. Also, on the other hand, it's been 2 years of him playing with Gobert. He's probably like, oh shit, yeah, I'm supposed to be down low like
Yeah, that's a solid point.
It's
a very
3
solid
games. Like, I really think this team is going to look different. I don't want to overreact to 3 games. Like,
Jay, this is the overreaction podcast. You know that, right?
they have 2 new starters and almost an entire new bench. It's a lot of different pieces right now. And you're playing against 2 out of actually all 3 teams they played so far have had like a lot of continuity between seasons, and the Knicks are incorporating all these new pieces.
So the Knicks actually, so they're like 7th in 3-point percentage, but they're dead last in 3-point attempted. Where do you think they are in field goal percentage?
I think they're high also. I'm going to say like 6th.
2nd.
Yeah. I had a feeling they were high. Like the offense has been pretty efficient. They're just, I think their defense is a little off. And
what was their calling card? What one stat besides these stats where the Knicks team been really good in the last 2 years in?
Offensive rebounding.
Right. Where are they in offensive rebounding?
24th.
Would you look ahead of time?
No.
You got that on the nose.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, last year I think they might have led the NBA,
This
or maybe
episode's
even
making
second.
me look good.
Yeah, so they are not really good in rebounding anymore. And overall in rebounding, they're 28th.
That's
If you're talking
crazy
about
because
defense,
Hart and Towns have been rebounding the hell out of the ball. I guess other people got to step up. I mean, OG's really. I'm surprised at how little he's been rebounding, and Bridges too. Like,
but their roles really in the past couple of years haven't been major for rebounding. Hart's been awesome in rebounding, but it's many ways like you had Randall and you had a center. You're not really making up for those guys. Where do you think the Knicks are in assists?
I'm gonna say pretty low. I'm gonna say mid, like 17.
28th. They're not getting any assists.
Okay.
Like, this is ridiculous also. Um, where do you think the Knicks are in? And I know I'm not going to go through every stat. There's like just a couple more that I thought were interesting.
Okay.
Where do you think the Knicks are in pace? So you got rid of Slowpoke Randall, who holds onto the ball and makes everything so slow. Where do you think the Knicks are in pace?
You kind of set that one up for me.
I kind of foreshadowed that answer.
Yeah,
or it's like
26th.
30th. The slowest goddamn team in the NBA. The slowest goddamn team in the NBA. This is. I'm glad we got glad Randall was the problem. Where do you think the Knicks are in offensive rating?
Offensive rating is basically how efficient they are, right?
I guess so.
I'm gonna say like fifth.
Third.
Yeah, I mean,
This goes to your answer. And where are they in defensive rating?
defensive rating. I'm gonna say like 15th.
29th.
Oh, okay.
So you're right. Defense is a major issue. Knicks
Although-
are not rebounding, which is a major, major issue. The pace maybe is not the biggest of issues. It's not great, but the rebounding and the pace probably is an issue also because every shot seems to be, I mean, I guess they've been efficient, but every shot seems hard for the Knicks because they're moving like a a snail's pace, waiting for the defense to set up, basically.
Yeah. So, do you think when Precious comes back, he's starting?
You act like Precious coming back is like, oh, we're getting Akeem Olajuwon back. Mitch is really good. Precious is not really even a center.
No, I was thinking at the 4, and you shift everybody up a little bit, and then you have Hart on the bench.
There's no way. First of all, Precious will take over Huck Porty's role as the backup center. There is no way you're going to be like, hey, you know what's going to make this starting unit better? Add a guy who can't shoot a 3 for his life. That's not going to improve this. The Knicks didn't play. If you want to have, OG out there, and you want to have Bridges out there, and whoever else out there who could shoot 3s, and have Precious at the center, and have him contest some shots at the rim and do some rebounding, that's fine. But you cannot have him at your 4. Precious is not an NBA playable 4. He's decent at the 5. His 4 is the natural position, but he's not in this NBA. He cannot play the 4.
Do you know what he shot from 3 last season?
We did. I asked you this, and you thought, oh, I think he shot like 33, 34%. I remember him hitting some 3s some games. He was embarrassingly bad.
Yeah. I looked again, and I'm still shocked at how bad it was.
Yeah, that he's so bad at 3s. You're like, dude, you're not allowed to shoot 3s again until you prove you just don't shoot 3s anymore.
Well, I wasn't thinking of 3s. I was just thinking from like a defense rebounding standpoint.
What does the 3-point shooting percentage have to do? Oh, you mean playing defense? Yeah, but then you have another guy on the floor they don't have to guard.
Yeah, but you could still do 4 out with him grabbing the boards.
Right, but then Towns also is not going to really It's going to be you have to have Towns committed to playing at the 3-point line then.
Yeah, where he shoots 40%.
I guess.
And he's 7 feet tall, so nobody's blocking it.
Okay, so I guess in theory he'd play the 4 and Precious to be the 5. I guess that would be the theory basically. Because you're right, Precious is the new Gobert.
I would say on offense, Precious is the 5. On defense, he's probably the 4.
Okay. Dude, remember, when we run this way, you're the 4. When we run back this way, you're the 5.
Yeah. I don't want Precious guarding 7-footers.
I think he has to. Is Towns going to do much better against 7 foot? Is Towns going to do much better against anyone on defense? And I do think one-on-one against a big guy, he probably isn't that bad. It's like the team defense is where the issue is.
I think it's situational. Like Embiid, I would rather Precious, but Brook Lopez, I'd rather Towns.
I guess. I don't understand why. Do you think Brook's not going to cook him?
No, I don't think Brooks is running around Towns, so I'd rather a taller guy get his hand in his face.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, he did well against Jokic in the playoffs last year, so yeah. Anyway, Towns, this is fixable. This is 100% fixable, right?
Yeah. I also think when some healthy bodies come back, you now have a 9-man rotation again. Like right now, it looks like, oh, the Knicks have no bench because they don't. But like when you add 2 guys to that rotation, the Knicks aren't as thin as it looks. You have a 9.
I disagree with what you're saying here.
Really?
You are saying when the Knicks get Mitch back, now they have an extra guy on the bench. That's not how I see it. I think when you get Mitch back, Sims and Huck Porty are no longer on the bench. They're no longer playing in the rotation.
Yeah, but
he
I'm not
replaces them. He doesn't add to the rotation.
Well, he's a playable guy as opposed to like Sims, who is technically playing, but I'm not counting him as like a playable guy.
Right, but I'm just saying I don't think it really adds to the rotation the way you're thinking about it, because it's not like we have an extra. Now we're gonna put like I think he's more of like if you add a Dante to this, he doesn't replace like Dante is like another. I'm just using an example. He'd really contribute on the bench.
I think you can feel comfortable playing Mitch 22 minutes off the bench, whereas Sims plays 10 minutes, and you're like, God damn, I can't believe he played that much today.
Okay, fine. Take me through this. Okay, the Knicks have a starting 5. You know the starting 5, right?
Yeah.
And then 6 through 8 currently are Huck Porty, Payne, and McBride. Those are the 8 guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knicks get Mitch back. How do we have 9 guys?
Well, Precious too. You're forgetting about Precious.
Okay. So they get one of them back. Okay, when we get Precious back,
mm-hmm.
do we have 8-guy rotation or 9-guy rotation?
Probably have 8 until both of them get back.
Okay, so then you have both of them back,
mm-hmm.
and your theory, you have a 9-man rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you have Mitch and Precious on the floor at the same time?
No, you stagger.
Okay, so you're staggering 2 bench guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that really works. They're just sharing the bench minutes for one position.
I mean, it's not like McBride and Payne are always out there at the same time.
No, but they kind of do like different things. Like I just think the Knicks are short a bench player. A scorer. The Knicks could use another guy who could score off the bench, maybe.
So there's a rumor Shamet might be healthy by January when Mitch gets back.
Okay, but have you thought of anyone that could actually help on the bench? Oh, Shamet! Wow, his track record's amazing. The NBA. Look how much he's contributed so far. He got. Did you know he was a first-round pick in the G League draft that just happened? The Knicks took him, I think, 1 or 2 overall, along with who's the other guy they drafted?
Alonzo Trier.
No, the Knicks didn't draft him. They passed on Alonzo Trier, who's back in the G League. The Knicks took someone else who's supposed to be able to shoot threes. A big is supposed to be able to shoot threes.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't even look to see who they drafted.
You were not watching the G League draft?
I did. I'm going to admit, I did not.
I cannot believe you did not watch the draft. I cannot believe Matt Ryan. That's who it is. They drafted the Atlanta Falcons QB. He's a forward. He's supposed to be able to shoot threes. I don't know how much he's done in the NBA at this point, but he is. Do you know much about Matt Ryan? Do you want me to tell you about him?
I'm sure he has an excellent 3-point percentage.
He's 27. He's 6'6", 215. And while he's yet to do much in the NBA, last year he did shoot 45% from 3.
Great.
So he is going to be your addition to. The Knicks need to figure out a move between now and the playoffs. They need to figure out how to add one more guy that can contribute on the bench.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fine.
Who can play? Yeah, I mean, I think that's necessary. I don't think needed right this second, but the Knicks need to add one more guy. And it's not Landry Shamet.
So there's an expiring guy. Guy makes a lot of money. Maybe this team wants to save a few bucks, buy him out. His name is Ben Simmons. He can pass the hell out of the ball.
I said someone to play offense.
He can pass the hell out of the ball. You want some assists? There's your assists.
I guess really like if Ben Simmons became available, would you give him like the minimum, like just add him, like all you have to do is give him the minimum contract for the rest of the season. Would you add him to this roster for this bench? I'm
so torn because at first, like earlier this morning, I was talking myself into it. And then...
Is there a real rumor that he's going to be bought out?
No, but like
okay,
he's an expiring. Okay. So like if the Nets are like, we're going to suck, like maybe we could buy him out and like take some salary off our cap. Like, why not? But then this afternoon, I saw that he's missing the next game because of back pain, and I'm like, here we go. It's game 4, and he's already got a sore back. Like,
So it's nice. You have something in common with Halliburton. You both scored 0 points in their last game.
mm-hmm.
And me and Ben Simmons both don't have a back that's helpful for playing basketball.
yeah, yeah.
He's going to miss too many games, I guess. So that part of it kind of like, in theory, a healthy Ben Simmons who could put up 8 points a game and get 7 or 8 assists and get a bunch of rebounds would be a welcome addition to this bench.
I'm sure there'll be somebody on the buyout market or
I agree.
Yeah, something will happen. We're talking about we need like an 8th man. It's not like we're
you
looking.
could scour the G League and just find someone either on Westchester or just another team who's just having a decent year who you might be able to get and add to the bench. Like there's got to be a guy that hits some threes and do something on the bench that would be okay.
Yeah. So it's not like we're looking for a starter. We're looking for an 8th man. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I still also strongly disagree with you about the I still think McBride starting and Hart on the bench would also just be more logical.
And I strongly disagree with that because you can't have all your starters out there, all your scorers out there at once, and then you have a bench of all non-scorers. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's go some positive stuff. Mikal Bridges, which we mentioned before, he's looked really good.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of Bridges?
Yeah, he's been what I expected. Other than like that game 1 blip, his defense has been good. His shot's been good.
His mid-range shot has been money.
Yeah, I really like. Yeah, people overreacted because of that first game. It's like he's on a new team. He's probably got like opening night jitters. He's looked absolutely fine since.
He had a nice 3 when Towns did find him for. Towns was kind of like guard, like double teamed under the bench. On the bench, under the basket. He found a wide open Bridges, and Bridges nailed the 3 from the corner, which was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, he hasn't been like shooting lights out from 3, but he's 3 for 7 in games 2 and 3 total. Like, that's fine.
Okay. I mean, I guess kind of. So, it seems kind of that like all the guys in the team need to shoot maybe 2 more threes a game.
Yeah.
Everyone in the rotation. I mean, everyone that can shoot threes in the rotation. Like, Bridges should shoot. What is he shooting? Like 3 a game now? He shoot 5 or 6 a game.
Yeah, he shot 4. He shot 3 in game 2 and 4 in game 3. The person who's been taking the most threes on the team is Hart, who shoots the worst. So let's not do that.
Right. Maybe he doesn't have to, but he needs to also because Knicks did this so much last year, and I've seen it a little bit this year. You cannot pass up a wide open 3.
No.
If you do,
if it's within the flow of the offense, do it. But if your offense results in him taking the most, maybe tweak something.
Okay, fair enough. Brunson needs to shoot a few more. Brunson also wasn't even looking for his 3 last night.
So the other odd stat, 26 shots versus 28 shots.
What's that?
That is 26 is the number of shot attempts Campaign has taken, and 28 is the number of shot attempts Towns has taken.
I think we already realized the Town stuff doesn't make sense right now, but it'll get better. What do you think about Campaign? And I thought you said we wanted to go positive, but now you brought up Campaign.
I'm not gonna like crap all over Campaign. He hasn't been shooting that well, and he's been shooting a lot, but I don't think he's gonna continue to shoot this bad.
I don't know what his stats actually. What are his shooting stats? I don't actually know.
I don't have game 1 up, but game 2 he was 3 for 9, and game 3 he was 2 for 7.
By the way, also the Knicks, they've been pretty good in the last. Randall used to get to the line a lot, and Brunson used to get to the line a lot. The Knicks were kind of middle of the pack on free throw attempts last year, but generally they've been usually pretty good at getting to the line.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks are also terrible at getting to the line this year. They are, I think they're one of the worst teams in the NBA getting to the line.
Well, I mean,
free throw attempts.
If you're not going to take a lot of threes, you also might as well not drive too. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
So this is crazy. So the Knicks are 26th in the league in free throw attempts, and they are shooting. I mean, this is really low. They're doing like 21 free throws a game. That's low, right?
I think so.
The team in the lead, number 1 team in the league, is shooting 37.3 free throws a game. Who do you think that is?
The Lakers.
No. You don't need to keep guessing. But Trey, I thought we changed the rules for this. Young,
Oh wow.
the Hawks.
Okay.
30 seconds. Okay. You're going to call this bullshit play on Towns driving to the basket. And I don't need to watch a moment of Trey Young to know that if the Hawks are shooting 37 free throws a game, there's some bullshit going on.
Yeah, Trae Young has jumped into a guy 5 different times and gotten the call every time.
Yeah, he plays like he like the NBA should fix. They need to make the 3-point shot harder, and they need to make whatever Trey Young wants to do harder.
Well, at least their team still stinks.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I also, if I'm going to prioritize that, Trey Young, focus on that, then fix the 3-point line after that. I can't stand Trey Young.
I really do think defense is the bigger problem than offense, though. Well, like you
No,
said,
you're right.
The
You're
Knicks are one of
100%
the
right.
most. But like your points keep going back to like the Knicks should do this on offense. But
Fine.
I really
Fine.
think
Make your
defense is the bigger
defensive
problem.
points. They stink on maybe. In fairness, though, maybe they stink on defense. Partly inflated by the fact that the Celtics went insane on them.
That's part of it. The other part is 2 out of their 3 big men are injured. Like that's what happens.
Did you know? I don't. Hang on. I have something that's very important. I don't know if you know this. Did you know 2 of the Knicks' 3 big men are injured? You said that 30 times this episode.
Because you keep going up for a bad offense, and the defense is the problem, and that's why.
By the way, did you know? I don't know if you knew this that Towns last year and the year before did not play center, so he didn't have to. He wasn't as responsible for getting rebounds. But this year he has to get more rebounds. I heard that 30 times in 3 games from the announcers.
But he's getting those rebounds.
I know, but the announcers keep saying it. I'm like, could you just stop saying the Town stuff?
Yeah, I don't know why they're saying it because he's doing it. Like
Yeah,
if he was
he's getting
getting like
rebounds.
6 rebounds a game, I could see bringing it up. But he's averaging almost 11 a game. Like he's getting his rebounds. So
I know. They keep bringing up like an interesting fact. Did you realize that Towns didn't play center last year? Now he's going to have to step up his. Like, they're not even
not-
saying he's not doing it. There's like, it was like, remember that? Remember when Wade for that 1 year when he was on the Bulls, he started shooting more threes, and they're like, Wade, who hasn't been known for shooting threes in his career, is suddenly shooting threes. Did you know that?
yeah, for like all 82 games.
Yeah. By the way, did you ever wonder what Wade would look like if he took steroids, was trapped in mud for 150 years, and then came out of that mud?
And mated with Antoine Walker and had a love child.
Yeah, that's the Wade statue. What in God's name did they do?
It's the same guys who made the Jordan statue where he looks like he's 75 years old. Why did these guys keep getting to make statues?
Why are you making a statue if it's going to be absurd?
I don't know why they keep hiring these guys. Like, hey, do you know the guys who made the horrible Kobe statue and the horrible Jordan statue? Let's hire those guys to make another statue. I'm sure this one will be good.
What? Hey guys, all the big thing for this statue is that I need it to become a meme on Twitter where people make fun of us to no end. Could you please do that?
Can you imagine being Wade and you're in front of this crowd and you have to like act grateful for this? And as soon as you see it, you're just like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't look anything.
He's like, wait, I don't get it. Are you appreciating me, or is this a giant troll job? Because you like feel like Pat hates me.
If you just showed me the head and said this is a famous NBA player, I don't think I would have gotten it at 100 guesses.
Never have gotten. Yeah,
I would have
it's
guessed
absurd.
Antoine Walker, and then I would have been out of guesses.
I mean, I guess I would have guessed 300 people before I would have guessed. Yeah, it's absurd. If you haven't seen it already, there's a lot of funny takes of it. There are a lot of funny things people are doing with it online.
Yeah.
But okay, so the defense is an issue. The centers are out. Is the defense just going to be a disaster for the next like month until Precious gets back?
I think it'll get better just because Tibbs is the coach and there is a lot of new pieces.
Yeah.
It also really hinges on what Towns does, and maybe we'll see more Hook Porty minutes. I mean, he's impressed me.
Yeah, I mean, he played 12 minutes. He looked pretty good. Did he impress you, or just didn't look as completely lost as Sims?
Maybe he impressed me because I immediately watched Sims like before that, and I can't believe it only took 3 games for Tibbs to be like, yeah, that we're done here. Like,
I mean, we were joking after game one that like Sims was done. Like, I'm sure Sims will get some minutes at some point, but like, Huckporty looks flat out better than him so far.
he does. He does. And Sims played 4 minutes in game 3. Didn't look great. Huckporty got all the rest of the minutes for the rest of the game.
So I guess we're agreeing that the center minutes will get better when Mitch comes back, and
Yeah.
maybe Precious also, and the bench will look better when some guys are bought out. And there's always a chance that Leon Rose, the Knicks have 2 empty roster spots. They have to fill by league rules by November 5th. So and Huckporty needs to be converted to from a 2-way contract to a full contract.
That's almost a given. Yeah.
That's almost a given. But the Knicks have, I think, actually 3 total roster spots they can fill. But maybe the Knicks are trying to work something out. Maybe they're trying to figure out, give a draft pick to someone for an expiring contract somewhere. Something. I believe Leon Rose is trying to do something. I bet by November 5th, he'll have done something. And it's not going to be signing Matt Ryan to a roster spot.
Yeah, it'll be Huckporty and something else. Probably a wing. And,
Yeah.
And then the team doesn't look like it's that shorthanded anymore.
Right. This imaginary player we're making up that's going to be on the Knicks soon will be awesome. I'm very excited for this imaginary player.
I mean, honestly, I really think we're not going to be having these complaints in January. I really don't.
Do you think there's a chance the Timberwolves buy out Dante DiVincenzo?
No, but that would be the greatest thing ever.
That would be the greatest thing ever. Dante should just start missing every shot, just like in anticipation. Like, I will not make a shot again until you buy me out.
I don't know the rules though. Sometimes like you can't get a player back for a year. Like I don't know where he falls under that. Like you can't trade a player and then get him back right away.
I don't think we need to look into this. It's not going to happen, so
I
it's
know,
fine.
I know. Although if he plays like
I
shit
heard
all
we
year, maybe gets bought out at the end of the year and then they could get him next season.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna happen. Okay, so the Knicks. Yeah, I guess Towns. The big things for Towns will be he needs to shoot more to open up the paint on offense, and on defense, he needs to kind of challenge guys a little more. And then the rest of it will come together because other guys can play defense on this team.
Yeah, but also like Cleveland's an exceptionally big team as well.
Are we going to compliment Cleveland? Because then I might have to leave the show.
No,
We might have to end the show early.
I'm just saying, like matchup wise, like we're saying, oh, they didn't look great the interior defense.
Right.
Like, not every team looks like Cleveland. So, like, the Knicks got the Heat next. Bam is good, but like it's not like they're a huge team. Then you got
Heat, Detroit,
yeah.
Houston. Houston's got Sengun, but Sengun's not exactly a world beater on defense either.
Right. So the next 3 games might look much better. Just they don't have like as dominating big men.
Right. By next show, the Knicks could be 4-2 when we're like, happy. Like, here's what's gonna happen. No matter how well the Knicks play, they will lose the game before we record the rest of the show.
Right.
The rest of the
Yeah, that's the general rule. Yeah.
So okay. So you want to check in on how our bets are doing?
Sure. I mean, it's very early, but we could.
You don't want to just figure it out like at this point, like just go like if we were right or wrong.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a friend. I just want to call out a friend of mine who he bet the over on the amount of wins that the Heat would get. He then apparently pulled his bet, which apparently you can pull your bet after game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like just took a little bit like basically you give up a little bit of the money.
Yes.
You could pull the bet.
Yeah.
And now the Heat are 2-1, and he put the bet back on.
I would not do that.
Okay, let's go. Who are our overs?
I'm just going to go in order of the way the bets show up on my app because I don't. This is going to be too confusing. So we had the under on the Clippers.
Okay, and the Clippers are now 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers. Jay had said the Clippers have no one besides James Harden in that team. Norm Powell disagrees. He's playing awesome.
Norm Powell's been going nuts. Yeah.
Okay.
I still think that's a good bet. We have the over on the Blazers.
Blazers. The over on the Blazers. The Blazers are 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Scoot Henderson is now a bench player.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Grant is doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. That one is not looking great, but We only need 23 wins, so
Yeah.
uh,
DeAndre Ayton, light stuff up. Ayton, if you want to be on a better team, play well now. You'll get on a better team.
exactly. We have the under on the Grizzlies.
Under on the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are now 2-2. John Morant sat last night, I think.
Yeah.
But they're looking decent.
They're looking all right. I mean, I think 47.5 is pretty steep. I feel good about that one.
I feel good about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. We have the over on the Knicks.
Over on the Knicks. Knicks are 1-2. Move on.
Okay. We have the under on the 76ers.
Under on the 76ers. The 76ers are currently 1-2, and Paul George and Joel Embiid have yet to play a game. And I think that
Pretty
last
good about
part
that
is
one.
the most important part.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that one still. Charlotte, we had the under at 30.5.
Charlotte is 1-2. I think that one win they're going to hold on to for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
They look real bad.
We had the over on the Timberwolves.
Over on the T-Wolves, they're 2-1, with now potentially four-time All-Star Julius Randle. So they who's lighting stuff up. He's playing great. So that's probably a given. That's probably our best bet.
And the last one, we had the over on the Mavs.
Over on the Mavs. The Mavs are 2-1. Klay Thompson has come out of his tombstone, and he is playing better. And then they look pretty good.
How annoyed are you if you are like a Golden State ex-teammate and Clay's like, oh yeah, I'm happy now, I'm playing well.
I don't know. Things got bad in Golden State somehow.
They did.
I don't know how they got bad. That Clay, like, I don't know how it gets bad where you're like, now we have to get rid of Clay, but like, I don't know. Golden State's only a couple years removed from winning the title. You won a bunch of titles. It's gotta get bad at some point. Though the Golden State's 2-1 this year, so who knows?
Yeah, I also like her strategy of going with a 12-man rotation, making any single warrior who you drafted in fantasy just completely worthless. So that was fun.
Okay. I feel like Kuminga and stuff, they feel like they're gonna have bigger roles. So I guess like you probably have gotten the Clay is probably not gonna get better. Like they have to kind of recognize where they are as a team. So like this might be a transition year for them.
Knicks 100 said he saw a team who came screeching to a halt without sim screens.
I don't know about that.
I would say that you are Sim's burner account. That's my take on that.
Yeah. We have a couple of questions. Let's go to the questions. I almost forgot. Oh, by the way, also, do you know last year my last Towns thing, had 5 games with 2 or less threes last year?
Good. He's done that like every game.
All 3 games. All 3 games.
Awesome.
Knicks opponents have shot 127 threes. The Knicks have shot 65. Paul writes, is it time to sign Markelle Fultz, or is campaign the answer?
I don't think that really matters. I really think that missing spot has to be like somewhere in the 3 to 5 position rank. I don't think the 1 and 2 are. McBride's got it. McBride's got a handle on the backup minutes there.
But campaign is going to play, and campaign's going to play every game.
So do you think Fultz is better than campaign?
I haven't watched much Fultz. I mean, he was injured for a bunch of time. He played a little bit on Orlando's backup. I thought he was doing decent backup minutes. I'm surprised Orlando didn't bring him back, but they have a bunch of point guards also.
I mean, Fultz when he's
Blackman
healthy looks good. It's just he's never healthy.
Well, he's healthy enough to sign right now.
He's also worse than Precious from 3.
Yeah, he's not a 3-point shooter, but he's also maybe Fultz was awesome in college, changed his shot and could no longer shoot again. Maybe Mikal Bridges can give some like I also tried to change my shot. Here's what I did. I went back to my old shot and I'm awesome again. Fultz will be like, oh my God, great idea. I'll go back to my old shot and I'll be number 1 pick in the draft kind of guy.
Fultz is never. He's so bad from 3. Yeah, I don't like that idea.
I'd give Fultz a workout if I watch Campaign play basketball more. By the way, does Campaign have the weirdest 3-point shot in the NBA?
He shoots like sideways.
It's weird. It's just weird. And it's fine. I guess you learn how to do something and like this is what works for you. And Payne's not bad at 3-point shooting, but it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Paul writes, when will Tibbs figure out how to maximize cat?
I think soon. I mean, it's only been 3 games. I would say by game 10, the Knicks
Okay.
look like they're kind of,
You know, Paul didn't ask to do this, but let me give you like A, B, and C choices here. When will Tibbs figure out how to maximize cat? A, 20 games in. B, post All-Star break. C, the third time he coaches him.
I'm going with A.
Okay. David writes, don't post results, man. I'm watching the replay overnight.
When you asked for questions, the picture you used had the final score.
Okay. If you don't want the results for, like, I imagine if you're a Knick fan, I apologize, David, but I imagine if you're a Knick fan, I was just looking for a picture. I was annoyed about the whole game. If you're a Knick fan, though, I imagine your Facebook feed includes other groups you have that would also have the results from last night's game.
Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it doesn't. Well, okay. Don't look at Knicks related content if you don't want the results from last night's game. I'm sorry, David.
Says the guy who texts me, like, don't talk about the game. I'm 2 hours behind.
Yes, I'm always behind. I have kids. I put them in bed, whatever. Yeah, okay. Jay, a different Jay. We lost hope next win. We lost hope win next game. I don't think I've seen Jay comment before, and I appreciate Jay's comment. Thank you. We are hoping for next. By the way, what's your prediction next few games? We got Miami coming up. We got make your predictions. We got Miami, we got Detroit, and we have who's the last one? Houston. I'm going 3-0.
And we're going to record, I guess, the 5th.
Yeah, potentially during the game. Jay is going away to Thailand soon. Our recording schedule might be a little off. And then when Jay is gone, by the way, I'm going to try to record without him and have some special guests.
Yeah, I'm going away for 2 weeks, and I'll be back the week of Thanksgiving.
I might have some family members on recording with me.
All right. So I would say beat the Heat, beat the Pistons, and maybe keeping with the trend of losing right before we record, lose to the Rockets. 2-1.
Cousin Jay writes, my cousin, who I hopefully will do a show with me while you're gone, writes, how the F did we go from what we saw last year, such a deep, rich, capable rotation with so many options, to having only one bench player last night log more than 10 minutes for the entire game, so pathetically thin. These guys are going to be complaining in no time.
Again, there are injuries. The Knicks lost 2 bench players and 2 more got injured. So that's like 4.
He made an interesting point, though. I mean, like, obviously he made a bunch of good points there, but the interesting point there is that the Knicks last night only had one bench guy have more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a really actually, sorry, Huck Porty played 12 minutes. But basically you couldn't get more than 15 minutes out of a second guy or 16. Like, you need another bench guy that can play 15 to 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, they're shorthanded right now. Like, Sims wasn't looking good. Campaign wasn't looking good. Who else do you have? Like, you got Huck Porty and McBride. That's it. Like,
How this team would look really interesting if we had Randall and Dante here instead.
oh my God. Yeah.
So we don't have a center, I guess. And that argument, basically, you don't have a center. Huck Porty might be your starting center currently, which is also a tough. Or Randall / Huck Porty will be your center combination, which is also it's hard to see how that would work also.
It's not great, but I think I'd still rather it just because the team overall is deeper.
Yes.
Because then you got McBride and Hart and Precious coming off the bench. That's a really solid 8-man rotation.
In retrospect, instead of the Towns trade, would you just give enough 2 firsts to get Walker Kessler?
Yeah. Yeah. Kessler with Randall and Dante. God.
Yeah, that would have been fine. Or just, I don't know, just convince Charlotte that they don't even need Nick Richards. Just cut him and let us have him.
Charlotte would have given us Nick Richards for 2 firsts.
They would have given for 1 first, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Well.
cool. We're going to get positive soon. I promise you, we're going to get positive. I think we're running low on time, right, Jay?
Yeah, we are out of time. Yeah, Nick 100 said how many open shots came off of a screen. I don't think you need Sims to set a screen. I just think you need the players on the court to set screens. I'm sure OG and Towns can set screens. Like, I don't think we need
Towns
Sims to
has
do
to be
that.
able to set a screen.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't think we need Sims to do that.
If anything, Towns would be the ultimate guy to set screens because then you couldn't really roll off him because he's dangerous from deep.
Right. He could screen and then pop out to the 3-point line, like, which is what they should try like a dozen times a game.
Right. Is there one guy maybe that can play with him in a two-man game that's also dynamic? That would be like two dynamic offensive weapons playing together.
That would be crazy.
Maybe a smaller guard.
Whose dad is an assistant coach. Yeah, that would be amazing. My wife's coworker went to a workout class in the morning, and Rick Brunson was there.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Did they recognize? They recognized him, I assume.
yeah.
Okay. Did they say anything to him?
I think they just like said hi, and that was it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Is your son coming?
right. All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back next week. Same sometime after the
Tuesday or Wednesday night we're coming back.
Tuesday or Wednesday night. So thank you for listening. nyknickspodcast at gmail.com if you want to email us. nyknickspodcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. The New York Knicks podcast.com if you want to see the roster power rankings. I think that covers everything.
Do you have a newsletter you want to pitch while we're on the show?
I do have a newsletter, so thebrinkofsanity.substack.com if you want some comedy. We also have a comedy show called The Brink of Sanity, so you can check those things out. And I'm working on a game, and you can get all that info on the newsletter too, thebrinkofsanity.substack.com. It's free.
Yes.
And Mark worked on a bunch of the stuff on there too, so check that out.
Yes, we have a game coming out. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be big. It's going to blow up.
The Brink of Sanity card game coming soon. So thank you all, and we will be back next week.
Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go.
This is the end.
Say goodbye.